How does that keep happening?
Why, though?
Why, though? All right.
That was something special.
We're going to start it again.
Okay.
Douglas?
Yes.
Sweet baby Douglas.
Dangle. I don't trust it anymore.
I don't either. Like, I see that it's working, but I don't trust that it necessarily is.
We've played this game long enough to know not to trust things ever.
5 damn years.
Yeah.
I've been getting into a thing, I don't know, recently, but where I just, like, after a certain period of time, everything that happens after 5 years is just 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I have only a few winter jackets. I'll say this. I have 3 winter options.
Right.
For jackets.
Okay.
I have this leather jacket with the shirling. Mm-hmm. I have like an honest to goodness Columbia winter jacket with like those like 3-in-1 with like the inner shell and like the packable
you
hood.
only break that out in like extreme winter.
Yeah, no, I only break that out after like January when it gets down to like -3 for fun.
Polar vortex.
Yeah, right. And then I have when it's like 36 to like 44, and it's just like a thick.
With 2 C's.
With maybe like 2 Q's.
2 Q's.
Yeah, it's a thick hoodie. Who makes the hoodies?
A lot of people.
No, who makes the like contractor hoodies?
Is that like the Carhartt thing?
Carhartt.
Yeah.
I have a Carhartt, and then I have like a thick denim jacket that goes over top of that.
Because otherwise I was going to say DC, but you're not a skater boy.
I was a skater boy at one point in time. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Interessante.
Hard to believe it, right? That lasted like 6 months. I fell.
Wow.
I fell exactly once, and I went, you know what? Not for me.
Well, the fact that it took you 6 months to fall is pretty impressive in itself.
Yeah, it was mostly just like riding down a hill.
Right. I mean, the first time I ever went ice skating, I fell right on my caboose and bruised my tailbone and haven't been ice skating ever since.
Oh, sure. That's the smart option. I'm pretty sure that like 80% of my concussions came on a frozen pond in the same day. So
How many are we talking here?
like 5 or 6.
Wow. Is that the 80% or is that the total concussions?
Oh, no. It's like, I don't know the real math. I'm not great at math, but I'd say 3 or 4 came on a frozen pond.
Oh, okay.
One of them came in a football game at the RMU Bubble Dome, and that one's well documented. I know I've talked about that one on the pod.
It has. I believe I uploaded it.
Yeah, I believe you did too.
Nary a week ago. They could have been more. I don't know.
Well, we just dated this podcast, and
Times
you know what I
apart.
don't like to do.
Podcasts.
Yeah, it's true.
We haven't had 18 episodes yet, so it's still underage Kevin, so...
Better delete those pictures. Anyway, but the funny thing is that I was actually getting in my car to come here, and I thought I really should wear the Columbia jacket more because, like, it does the job. Like the leather one is like it's fashionable, but
Yeah.
like it's, in certain temperatures, it's dog shit. But the Columbia one is good.
All sorts of
Yeah.
codes.
As the kids say nowadays on their tickety talk, it's fucking mint.
Is that what they say?
They say that. I don't say that. They say that.
Oh, kids are the worst.
I know. But anyway, this jacket's fucking mint.
That's why we're not having any.
Right. That's why we're not having any. And I was like, well, I've only had that jacket for a couple of years. And then I thought, no. My parents gave it to me before I went to college because you know Johnstown.
I do know
I know
Johnstown.
Indiana. Those winters don't fuck around, boy.
They don't.
And they were like, well, you're going to need like an actual winter jacket because you wear a hoodie.
And you're going to need it in September.
Yeah, truly. And that was 9 years ago.
A little bit more than a couple.
A little bit more than 5.
Yeah.
Almost twice as many as 5.
Almost.
Not quite.
How about that?
Yeah. So that jacket's 9 years old.
You will have graduated high school 10 years ago in just a few short months.
I know. Tell me about it.
Wow, you're
No,
so old and you
Tom.
look it too.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to be filling that out finally.
Yeah.
Still get carded though.
Yeah?
The ripe old age of 27, I still get carded.
I got carded last night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You stepping out on me? You going to strange bars with strange men without your K-boo?
Well, actually, yes.
Oh, okay.
No, my boss took us out as like an appreciation thing to dinner last night. And I was getting Crown and Ginger, and I got carded. I was like, well, this is lovely.
I am flummoxed.
I am coming here more often.
And also arriving here
Yes.
with my ID more
And
often.
I will drink here more often. I probably won't.
The high hold.
No. McCormick and Schmick's.
I don't know where that is.
Southside Works, basically.
You Republican.
Am I?
I love the shock in your voice. Like it was a genuine, "Oh, shit, maybe he's right.
Recent trends have suggested. I have a lot of red pants these days.
Wearing a lot of corduroy.
I wore corduroy last night.
Cardigan check.
I almost wore 3 different pieces of corduroy last night. So I got the corduroy pants.
Yeah.
I got a corduroy shirt.
Yeah.
And a corduroy jacket.
Corduroy jacket, yeah.
I eschewed the jacket last night. So just went with the shirt and pants.
Oh boy. That's gotta be some kind of tuxedo, but I don't know what.
What could we even call that?
I don't know. I feel like it exists in Manitoba though.
Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Well, that's Canada.
No, it's Saskatchewan.
It's pronounced Saskatch. You know, there have been more Sasquatch sightings in Western
Saskatchewan.
Pennsylvania than anywhere else.
I'd believe that. I'd believe that for a second. Only one.
Are you still believing it?
No.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, but it's crazy. The loop at work is so it's the deal. This was the deal that we brokered. Okay. Mm-hmm. One dated pop hit song, and then one Christmas song. Mm-hmm. Vice versa, back and forth. It's a handshake.
Right.
We are at the point now where it's roughly 3 to 4 Christmas songs to one pop song. But when I say that one pop song, I'm not talking about today's top 20.
You know about the top 40.
We're talking about we're talking about
With Ryan Seacrest.
now that's what I call music's greatest hits.
Oh, wow.
It's eclectic.
Is it like Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's 2 Spice Girls songs.
Jeez, that's going back. That's not a Spice Girls song.
It's not. There's
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
you know what? Both of those songs that I thought you were singing are on that list.
Really?
Yeah.
Hammer Time.
Yeah. Also Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Ooh. Baby Got Back.
Yeah, the entire song. Didn't realize how long that
It's
song
like
was.
7 minutes
Yeah,
long.
that song is at least 5 minutes longer than it needs to be.
I think it could have been like 8 bars.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, oh, well, that's what everyone knows
Yeah.
anyways.
After the first time he says Baby Got Back, he should just repeat the first verse and then scratch and cut his way out.
I mean, you got to wait like 4 minutes till you get to the My Anaconda Don't Want None unless you got buns, hon.
Yeah. And they decided, for whatever reason, that they were not going to edit this song at all.
I'm sure mothers shopping with their children
It gets bizarre.
enjoy that.
Because the thing is that, like, there's a certain age range to people that don't, like, they're so familiar with the song that they're not listening. But for me to get through my day, I pay an intense amount of attention to the radio.
Right.
Because
Because
otherwise,
music makes time go by faster.
it truly does. So I am very aware of every syllable in this song. And I am, like, crumbling inside. Like, do you remember that like, it was more of a slideshow than a video, but there was that slideshow that NASA had probably like 2 or 3 years ago of the black hole eating a star.
Yeah.
That's what's going on inside my person, metaphysically. I am
Metaphysically.
I am that star being swallowed by a black hole, as he's talking about He doesn't like plastics because it's for toys. He wants them thick and juicy. And I'm like, boy, I need to leave this area immediately.
What a jam, though.
Privately, sure. Yeah.
In the appropriate venue. Like if you're into club, as the kids on TikTok say.
Speaking of which, into club on that.
Wow. This is a risque playlist.
It is, dude. It goes places. Poker Face is on there, and they don't censor that song correctly, and nobody believes me. That's the thing. That's not what she says.
What's she saying?
She
poke her face.
Yeah, except not poke. She explicitly says, poker face, fuck her face.
I don't know if that's true.
It is true.
I'm looking it up.
It's from her mouth.
Gavin.
All right, look it up. Look it up right now.
Poker Face. Song by Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Can't read. Wow, it starts off with that? Mm-hmm. No, it starts off with ma. No, ma. All right, let's get past that. Poker Face, poker face, ma.
Yeah, hold on now.
I think you're just hearing what you want to hear.
No. Hold on.
It looks like a Poker Face explicit. I don't know if there's going to be any response for this. I was right all along. Lady Gaga really does say poker face, F her face.
I told you.
This is a Reddit post. I noticed it from the very first time I heard the song, and I've insisted to everyone for years that's what it says, but no one believed me. Now I'm noticing that radio stations have edited that part out. Mm-hmm. So I looked it up, and she did admit that those were the words, so that's probably why they've started to edit it. Nope. That's probably why they've started to edit it. I tried to give this guy some credit. I just find it really funny that it's been there plain as day for years, and no one batted an eye. Lady Gaga, you sneaky little... bad ace. Except he didn't say ace.
There we go. Lady Gaga admitted to Kiss FM. Hold on. They were the only radio station to correctly censor the song during the chorus when she replaces Poker Face with Fuck Her Face. Although not in the official lyrics, the switch can be heard every second repetition of the phrase during the chorus.
Wow. Who knew?
Me.
Well, I guess.
The real question is, what does bluffing with my muffin mean?
Well, I don't know if there's any...
It's provocative. It gets the people going.
I don't know if there's any mystery behind that. I mean, I feel like Kid Cudi's interpolation of that song kind of, wears that on its sleeve.
What?
Of what you're poking the face with.
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you remember when... It was probably like 2011 or 12... where, like, for some reason, the right-wing media tried to make it out that Lady Gaga was a transvestite.
Oh, yeah.
What was that about?
They hate women.
Oh, well, I guess it's on brand. But what bothered me the most out of that entire thing was that the easy joke was there, like the easy pun was there, and for some reason, the phrase that kept getting circulated about it was, instead of Lady Gaga, they would say Man Gaga, and I was like, no, it's Lady Gaga. How is that not so apparent?
Well, not everyone's as clever.
I know.
As we.
You and I.
The academia nuts.
Collectively.
Yeah.
Big Mean Papa Sauce. Yeah. Local geniuses.
Gina I.
You know what? That's a good callback. Shake my goddamn hand.
Blasphemer. I've learned things about the Gogs today.
What else do we know about the Gogs?
Well, that was the full extent of it.
Yeah. That's crazy that she was like the Fame
monster
came out my senior year, so your junior year.
Yeah.
That was wild year for like pop music, man.
Yeah.
That was one of Madonna's 19 comebacks. Gaga was getting big. LaRue came to the States.
LaRue.
Oh, dude,
Name
Bulletproof.
I had not heard in
That was exciting.
Wow, I haven't thought about that song in a long time.
It's like a jam.
Probably 9 years.
It's a jam, man.
Sci High the Prince used that song as a beat
Oh yeah.
on one of his mixed tapes. Sci High.
Those are good times, man.
Those were good times.
I really liked the end of the aughts. The end of the aughts ended pretty well.
There was a lot of good music back in those days.
The beginning of the tens, however.
Rocky.
Ooh yeah.
Ba, 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 da, da, ba, da, ba, ba, da, da.
That was the Rocky theme.
Sure was.
Is it gotta fly now or gonna fly now?
Gonna fly now.
Okay. Got a jet.
Trying hard now.
Doing my best now.
I was listening to a song off of the soundtrack to Creed 2 today.
Oh.
It's an A$AP Rocky song. And it's a song that's used. You haven't seen any of the Creeds, have you?
No, I haven't.
Well, spoiler alert, there's a scene where he's training in the desert. A montage, if you will. And it's the song used for that montage. Oh, boy.
Gets you going.
It does.
Puts a fire in your belly.
It really does. Creed, the first one is probably one of my favorite movies of the past decade. And Creed 2, while not as good, was still everything that I wanted it to be.
It's good. It's good. Getting on to the subject of not so much movies, but
Back to the lecture at hand.
back to the lecture at hand. I took a screenshot of something earlier today. Because like I think I told you, it's an Ars Technica article.
Okay.
Highly disappointed, regardless of whether or not I agree or disagree. Very disappointed in kind of the clickbait, because Ars Technica is one of the last bastions, I feel like, of...
What a great word, bastion.
One of the last bastions of, I won't say good, but decent journalism.
Right.
This is the article in question. Watchmen, not Game of Thrones, has proven to be HBO's show of the decade.
Wow.
As of this screenshot, published 10 hours ago. So probably like 12 hours ago now.
Oh, yeah. A show that's been on for a month and a half at the end of the decade.
Yeah.
With that said, I watched the first episode the other night.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Is it good?
it is really good. I'm excited to watch the rest of it, but
I've heard that it involves a lot of research and like knowing prehand. Like
what?
what's going on and
yeah, but so it follows the comic rather than the movie,
okay.
at least from what I've gathered. But I read that like when the movie came out, so
Yeah, see,
I was kind of familiar with it.
I'm not very involved in that franchise at all. So
No, I think they've released both like a prequel series and a sequel series within the past decade. And I think the sequel series, it got weird because they did it to officially bring the Watchmen universe into the DC universe proper. So there's like Dr. Manhattan and Superman squaring off against each other.
is that like an Infinite Earths thing or
I have no idea.
yeah.
I don't really read comics.
No.
I just wait till they get turned into movies.
I think that's the way to do it. But that just seems like such a reactionary. It's not even reactionary because I feel like there's still a bit of a reaction can still be genuine. This seems like a very like
It's
clickbaity, only meant to stir the pot.
well, yeah, because the season. I don't know if they're doing a second season or not yet.
Yeah.
I imagine they probably will. But it just ended last night.
Okay.
So they're probably trying to, maximize off of that as much as they can.
Yeah.
It's all about getting reads, getting clicks, getting streams.
Yeah, getting DLs.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah. Hammer that button. I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is either. Are people leaving reviews?
They're leaving reviews with me.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I never noticed a review.
They're not doing what they need to do, which is write it down on the things proper.
You guys should do that proper. That way there's a paper trail.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I just, like, I hate to keep going back over it. What? 6-7 months later. But I'm not saying I necessarily enjoyed season 8.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all have got to calm down.
Fans are the worst.
The people that support us, they're fucking ingrates.
Honestly. They don't like the way we're doing things.
Who needs them?
They want to reboot We Have Fun with new hosts. Bring back the crickets.
Show's so much better when they had crickets.
Seemed like they were like really out there in the world when they had that.
Now they're just so fucking sterile. Just a bunch of phonies.
There's nothing exciting going on.
Fucking sellouts. It's quiet. Like a good audio quality now. They come for the self-deprecating humor. They stay for the actual pinpoint aggression against them. Oh, Brother Brian, you know we love you.
It's true. Well, I don't know if that's true. You know, once we start getting these guests in, it's really just gonna be us roasting them.
Yeah, we're so busy going after one another. They think that we're at ends and that a third party will offset the whole scale. Little do they know.
Our heads just snap to that.
We're just a two-headed dragon.
No, I'm a dragon.
Well, it's like a two-headed bearded lizard, but...
And if we're any sort of dragon, we're a Komodo dragon.
Are we?
Yeah, because I think they just kind of bask in the sun all day.
Yeah, except, like, they have the spit that's, like, got all that different back... It's got, like, the Black Plague and shit.
Yeah, well, who doesn't?
And they run, first of all.
I did that today.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I'm not wearing my fit. Oh, I got receipts.
Do you?
I got receipts.
I don't believe you.
Kevin, look at my receipts. Look upon my receipts. And...
You can do it. Come on. Ozymandias. Let's go.
I know.
Come on.
It's not tremble, is it? No.
Ye mighty, and despair.
Despair. Oh, no. I'm more upset with myself than anything.
Yeah, really. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, it's been a day. I've been up since like 4:45.
Well, whose fault is that?
It was mine. See?
You want a nip of this Red Bull?
2 separate.
3 miles, 10-15 pace. Is that per mile or all together?
That's per mile. If that was all together, I would be a freak of nature.
You'd be getting a little bit closer to my time.
Like, pew!
That's roughly 3 minutes a mile. It's like 3:20 a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick math.
I mean, I'm no Usain Bolt, but I don't know that he's a long distance guy either.
I don't think he's a long distance guy.
I think I could probably beat Usain Bolt.
Yeah, my mile time was never great, but I was a long distance guy.
Mm-hmm. Long, slow distance. LSD, baby.
I'm saying it. Because, like, you know, I had to run in the midfield, so I'm running, like, 3-4 miles, maybe even 5 miles if it's a good game. But I gotta do that for an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Air dance. Oh, boy.
So, you know, just turned into a car alarm. So how long were you running out there?
Oh, good heavens. Put him down. Who would be writing to you?
It's not me.
Well, it's not you, it's me. It's CNN.
What do they want? What the fuck do they
They're trying to
want?
explain to me how China handles army dropouts.
Do they kill him?
Well, I didn't click on it. You
I bet they
watched
kill
me
him.
stow my phone back in
I
my
bet they
pocket.
kill him.
It's probably not a good outcome.
I bet they kill him.
Do they have like a mandatory service? No, they don't do that.
I think they just kill everybody,
Well, eventually.
especially the Uyghurs.
How many? Whoa. How many? Is it just Israel that are they the only ones that have like the mandatory year of service?
No, dude, everybody has a mandatory year of service. U.S. is like one of the few countries that don't, as far as I know.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody in Scandinavia does it. Most of the people in Western Europe do it.
Ugh. Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of Scandinavian hockey players that come over, they don't come over until they're like 20s, in their early 20s.
And they've seen things.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't. No one goes to war, but like,
Who's going to war with Scandinavia?
truly, Russia have been done that since they've been knew how that goes. But yeah, like Malkin got in some shit. UC Jokinen got into some shit because they came over before they were.
That was what the scandal was back then.
Yeah.
I remember for Malkin.
Yeah. I think not UC Jokinen. Olli Mata. Did I say Olli Mata or did I say UC Jokinen?
You said Juicy Jokinen.
Yeah, it was Olli Mata because he came over when he was like 18 or 19, and he hadn't yet gone into the service.
The UC is Lucy.
I'm saying. And so that's like a whole thing.
Wow.
But I've always said,
I could take him.
yeah, probably, definitely. The hockey player that's military trained, yeah, you got a good chance with your 10.
I could beat up Zdeno Chara.
Listen, if Chris Kunitz can do it, you can do it.
Right. Here's what I'm thinking. Zdeno Chara's. We'll say we're on the ice. He's got skates on. I don't because I'm smart and I know I can't skate.
Right.
He's coming at me.
Nailed it.
I just kind of slouch over and he just like broadsides me and I flip him over. And he probably dies because he's huge. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So after last time where I challenged someone to a race across the English Channel, I am now challenging Zdeno Chara
to a fist fight.
To a duel of the fates.
I'm sure it'll pan out exactly how you want it to, Doug.
I'm putting it out there.
It'll definitely go in your favor.
Putting it out.
We know that's not true. You bitch.
Well.
But what the fuck are they talking about?
Military service.
Oh, yeah. Given how litigious the United States society is, I always lobbied that instead of mandatory military service, which is really just a matter of time.
That's true.
You should have to serve at least a year in either retail or the service industry.
The armed service.
Not the armed service. The retail. No, I already said retail.
The retail service.
The food service.
Right.
As a waiter or a line cook.
Just so everyone can establish the respect with each other.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's a lot of shitty people that don't know how to talk to other human beings.
Well, you're
said,
you're speaking to them through the microphone.
That being said, fuck fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, something we can agree on. I don't know what that voice was.
Yeah, well, pretty much. You alright?
We both said home at the same time.
Did we?
We are destined.
Well, our periods have been synced up for at least 10 years now.
That's true. That's true.
Did we do it again? We are just the most precious.
Yes, we did.
How cute are we?
I don't know.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go get a topper. Do you want anything?
Hell yeah, I want a topper.
Do you want a Todd and Copper?
Are you gonna give me top or not?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well, we'll just edit this in post.
I'm uncomfortable.
Just go get my alcohol. But anywho, on to something different. What were we talking about, family? Family, what were we talking about? I think that I don't know. I don't know what I think about Doug. What are your thoughts on
Doug?
And it's
Write us in.
this is borderline gatekeeping, if not definitely gatekeeping, but what are your thoughts and feelings on people that don't watch The Mandalorian cashing in on all this precious meme territory on Baby Yoda?
Ooh, that's an interesting question, because I have not really given it any thought. I'm trying to equate it to, because this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah. I mean, we can. I mean, we're gonna. I'd like to stay on the Mandalorian for a little bit of time. So.
Right. I'm just don't want to talk about it. No. I think they're scum of the earth, and they should be dragged out in the street and beaten to death.
Good. So we're on the same page.
Oh, jeez, we're supposed to be debating each other, Kevin.
God damn it. Well, I mean, listen. This is the.
All right. I think they're upstanding citizens and deserve all the rewards.
Good. Finally, we're on the same page about something. No, here's the thing.
I found out you've had like 8 tweets lined up in your draft.
There's one for every side of the argument. So it's really just 4 tweets. But my thing is that if it was like a TV show, like on not basic cable, but like whatever.
On television.
Advanced cable. This isn't basic cable. Then it's like, whatever. But it's 15 smackerels, right?
No, 7. 7.
7.
I almost said $6.99, but that would have been.
These are good channels.
These are good channels.
It's money. It's money, and it's my time. And I just think that I don't fucking barge in on your One Direction concert shit.
No, you don't.
So
because I can keep the door locked for those.
Yeah, let me have my fucking Baby Yoda. But what's worse than the people like that are the ones that are like, his name's not Baby Yoda. We don't even know what planet he's from. We don't even know what it's called. So it's not Yoda because Yoda's dead.
R.I.P. Yoda.
R.I.P. Yoda.
Pour some out.
That's Master Yoda to you.
Whoa.
But
I acknowledge no master.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are now turning heel on the Mandalorian.
Well, so I was talking with my good buddy and friend of the pod, John, about this the other day.
He can actually attest to how much of a fucking monster I was playing video games in my younger years.
Oh, I'm sure he can.
Yeah.
And I can attest how much of a monster you are in the real world.
As a human being.
Just one of the worst people I've ever met.
Text chains with many people.
He has kicked homeless people.
What's from Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. Beat them until they lose their eyesight. Which...
He did it. Look it up.
We got to come back to that at some point. But Mark Wahlberg's a terrible human being.
Yeah, really.
So the issue that I have with it is that it's just it's just too episodic. It's just too like, oh, what's the problem this week, and how can we like move past it? And granted, there's like the larger plot overall, but they're so cagey and like playing it close to the vest at this point. There's only 2 episodes left this season, and like we still don't know what's gonna go on.
Yeah.
And that it's just like you got to give us something. So like Game of Thrones, they start off the whole series with, oh, there's this like supernatural threat that no one believes in or knows about.
Yeah.
But it's there, and like it's revealed to you that it's there right off the bat, and they don't talk about it until like the end of the first season, and like then that's it, and then like again at the end of the second season, but like in the second season it's like we're revealing it a little bit more, and like people are starting to worry about this, but most of the characters still like
Yeah.
have no inkling of what's going on. That is not happening with the Mandalorian. There's no like, oh, there's something greater going on. It's just, well, this is life now that the Empire has fallen.
Yeah.
And we have a 30-year gap between the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy that we're just trying to fill with stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. So here's the thing. Wow, we are actually going to disagree on something organically.
Write that down.
How do you like that? Hey, scribe. So the thing about the Mandalorian that I'm not saying that that's incorrect or invalid, because you're 100% correct, but I think that your clan, you are the spokesperson for your people now.
Yes. Clan of the Dug.
You are looking for, I won't say a linear story because I feel like there's a negative connotation, but you're looking for the straight story.
Right.
Whereas I'm happy with the universe of the microverse of this story in the larger,
right,
where it's in a larger timeline. I'm cozy, comfied up with the characters, their places, going to new places, meeting new characters, kind of ambling. But as long as I can suspend my disbelief under the notion that they're just on the lam, I'm okay with that. I honestly missed the beginning, which is kind of weird because it's like a hit X and play at your leisure kind of thing. But I missed the beginning of the last episode, the jail one.
Right.
I probably wasn't paying attention for like the first 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm not sure how they got into that situation. Like when he lands on the hangar,
right,
that's when like my brain started recording.
That's pretty much right where it starts.
Oh, okay.
I think that is exactly where it starts. Before that, it's just like him in space in his ship.
I was gonna say, because if I remember right, his McMando's first words in that episode are "What's the job?" and I'm like, did I miss like a whole thing?
Right.
And like that's a little bit annoying, but like I liked the first few episodes of how they were going because it did seem like they were getting to something. Like there was a larger story to be told, and they were getting to that through like smaller stories that linked up in certain ways. And the last 2 or 3 episodes did seem very far apart. As far as what the point was. Because I'm okay with them having seemingly non sequitur. Like, this is how easy it is to entertain me if you get most of the ingredients right. I'm okay with most of the episodes seeming non sequitur, as long as like the last 30 seconds is like a cliffhanger that I can cling to.
Right.
So like the end of the one episode where the one character, I'll be as kind of general as I can. The one character is sitting by the side of a rock, and you see a silhouette, and you hear like clinging. There are rumors by people with more personal free time than I have that seem to have connected some dots, saying that they think that it is. I don't know if I should even spoil this, but they seem to think that it's a major character from the original trilogy.
I think I saw what you're talking about.
And I would be very interested, because I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but given the timeline of where that story takes place, so it's 5 years after...
Even the location of that episode.
Even in the location especially. Could be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Going into the show, I was hoping that character would show up at a certain point.
Yeah.
Whether they would blow that load in the first season, I don't necessarily know. But, so, I mean, I will say that the whole series is very much in line with what Star Wars has always been. It's so heavily influenced by, like, old samurai and Western stories.
Yes. I do think that the writing's good. The direction, the videography is absolutely stunning. There are some shows that I watch, and I won't say that I get anxious watching them, but like I've just been really just so wrapped up in these very heavy, difficult to digest dramas. Going through Boardwalk Empire, going through Game of Thrones, going through The Deuce, like these are like very heavy stories that require your attention. And for me personally, it's nice to just have a Mandalorian to just like put it on, like check my phone every couple of minutes, like just kind of listen to what's going on. There's comedic relief. The dialogue isn't too much, and it's just very. It's almost like it's like an old Western teleplay from like the 50s.
Yeah, he's the strong silent type, man of few words. Doesn't even have a name.
Doesn't even have a name. I assume we'll see his face at some point.
I don't know.
They keep alluding to the fact that they keep talking about it. Never take off your helmet. Like it's really Chekhov's helmet at this point.
Yeah. Or the fact that that's actually, I guess that's kind of a spoiler. I won't even say that. But like going back to what I was saying, keeping in line with the rest of Star Wars, all the movies always were, they were like always based on like the old like Flash Gordon serials.
Yeah.
And like I think kind of what I was saying about Game of Thrones, that applies to the movies, where it's like each movie has its own specific plot.
Yeah.
Its own thing that needs to be solved. But it contributes more to the overall story. And I'd say it's probably more with the original trilogy. It's the prequels are probably, and I guess to a certain extent the sequel trilogy so far. The prequels, they were more, this is the whole story. It was kind of like one big story broken up into, I'll say 2 spots.
Yeah.
Because episode 1 isn't as connected as 2 and 3 are.
Yeah. Well, the prequel trilogy had so much work to do.
It did.
And I don't think a lot of people give it credit for what it... Like, I'm not saying they're the best. Like, they're not.
I'm doing my rewatch of the series before I see the new one this week.
Yeah.
And they hold up.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, episode 1 has so much going for it that I think a lot of people are just so dismissive because of Jar Jar Binks.
He's not in as much of it as people remember that he is.
And, like, you've got all the Darth Maul scenes.
Yeah.
Ray Park absolutely fucking murders
The door opening on Darth Maul is worth the price of admission alone. There was something I saw. There was something I saw online the other day. It was like an interview with Ewan McGregor, and he was like, "That has to be the best lightsaber duel, right?"
Yeah. Somebody was trying to assert that the Revenge of the Sith lightsaber duel in Mustafar.
That one's really good.
It's really good, and like
But
there's so much weight there, and I was
There's
like,
a lot of digital stuff in it. Though.
Yeah. Ray Park actually did all that shit, sis. So Liam Neeson really running around doing all that shit, sis.
But with that said, I know from watching like behind the scenes stuff on Revenge of the Sith, like when it first came out on DVD, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen dueled each other every day for like 6 months to get the choreography down perfectly.
Yeah, my favorite thing, and I'm sure that if, there's any fella Star Wars nerds out there, you already know this, but they had to reshoot almost everything. Every time Ewan McGregor used a lightsaber, they'd have to shoot it up to 12 times because he could not stop making lightsaber noises.
I don't think I'd be able to in that position.
He's just such a big fan.
His uncle was in the original trilogy.
Was he?
He was Wedge Antilles.
Really? How about that? Wedge, huh?
Who might be in the new one. I think I saw something about that.
That'd be fun.
But I know he turned down being in like The Force Awakens because he was like, oh, it's like not our story anymore. And I was always like a tertiary character to begin with. But now that all the main characters have died off,
basically, yeah.
we got left is Lando, Nine Newbin, and Wedge.
You know who I miss? You know who I miss?
Who's that?
Kit Fisto.
Oh, he was the best Jedi.
Kit Fisto is my favorite Jedi. Like, honest.
So, for the longest time, and actually, I still hold out because I just watched Revenge of the Sith yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday or the night before.
Dude, he's such a badass. In the Coliseum fight? Are you fucking kidding me or what?
Whenever they go to arrest Palpatine,
Yeah.
and like there's 4 of them. It's Kit Fisto, Mace Windu, the other 2.
Yeah. Ong Bak, the TIE Warrior.
One is Saesee Tin.
Yeah.
He's the one with like the horns.
The horns, yeah.
And then the other guy, I used to know his name. It's like Eth Koth or something like that.
Yeah.
I was deep in it back in the day.
Well, wait, doesn't Saesee Tin gets shot down in Order 66, right?
That's Plo Koon.
That's Plo Koon, okay. And Kiadi Mundi is the guy with the big forehead.
Yeah. Oh, he has a tragic death.
He goes down hard.
Kiadi Mundi. He's the one's like running across the bridge.
The bridge, yeah, exactly. He's on Camino. It's just a rainy planet.
Megiddo.
Yeah.
God, we are really flexing that nerd muscle.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Well, I mean, no one's gonna fuck us anyway. So.
Ayla Secura is
she's on the Flora planet.
Yeah, she's the one that like gets killed, and then they just keep shooting her body as she's lying on the ground.
Terrible.
I don't remember the one who dies on the speeder bike. I don't remember her name. But Kit Fisto, whenever they're going to arrest Palpatine, the first 2 die immediately.
Yeah.
And Kit Fisto and Mace Windu last a little bit longer. Kit Fisto gets hit, but it doesn't look like a killing blow.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I held out that he survived somehow.
That would be amazing.
And just went into hiding.
Because I don't want to say they did him dirty in the movies, but he is a gargantuan badass in the animated series.
Yeah, I read one of the books when like they were still considered canon.
Yeah.
And it was something like the style of fighting that he used was the most dangerous type, and it was like as deadly as it was to his enemies, it was almost more deadly to him. But they explained it something like his like tentacle hair thing.
Yeah.
He was able to use like his natural like biological sensors from that.
I was gonna say
to enhance his abilities, and I was like, that is so interesting.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking cool.
He was my favorite. I have an action figure of his somewhere.
I think it was in the series. Maybe I'm just imagining it differently because I didn't really watch.
I know he fights General Grievous.
Yeah.
Like 1-on-1.
Yeah. And whenever he's on Mon Calamari, or he's in Mon Calamari, I don't know how that works.
The underwater battle.
Yeah. How fucking good. How fucking good is that battle?
He just destroys an army by himself.
He literally does. He like literally takes out an entire aquatic fleet by himself with the Force.
That's true. Well, do you remember what Mace Windu does in that animated series? Where he like
war crimes. He commits war crimes.
He does the same. Like he loses his lightsaber and like punches.
Yeah.
An army to death.
Man, literally too angry to die.
I just remember it's like there's like one of the super battle droids, and he like uses like a speed bag and just dents it repeatedly.
I do remember that. Yeah. I do remember that.
That was a good series. The CGI one was good too.
I don't think I know the CGI one.
That one's on Disney Plus now. They won like 5 seasons. There's supposed to be a new season coming up. That one is considered canon.
You know what
that's the one that brought back Darth Maul.
All right, so here's 2 points that I'll make on the same subject. So I think that the reason that the Mandalorian isn't going where people want it to go, not that I'm speaking for you, and you can rebut this if you'd like,
right,
is that I know that a lot of people are always, thanks to Christopher Nolan, there are so many people that want their childhood IPs to come back in a dark, gritty reboot. And they thought that The Mandalorian was going to be a dark, gritty reboot of a Star Wars universe kind of quasi-character. Where he'd be like pulling off hits and murdering people and just being like dark and cynical and like drinking heavily and like, you know, doing dark, grifty shit. But it's on Disney Plus, boys. It's written by fucking swingers, boys. Like,
see, that's interesting because that was actually my greatest concern. Was that they would try to do that. When I started watching it and found out like, oh, he's actually something of a heroic figure.
Yeah.
I was like, here we go.
really relieved. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is something I can absolutely get behind.
It's
Because
not,
everyone likes to watch a hero.
yeah, it's not gonna happen. Not with Disney. And since Disney owns 67% of all the media that you're watching, probably wouldn't hold out hope for too much of that.
Which I think if they did at some point bring back that character,
Yeah.
it would be in a villainous way. In a villainous way that we never got to see.
Yeah. My second point, I'm happy that you said that, is that I would happily watch that. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen and I think it's a bad idea. It's not going to happen. I think it would be a good idea under the right circumstances, like you said. I would happily pay more money to watch a series that was dark and gritty, almost Band of Brothers like, for the 501st.
Oh, that would be good.
And I don't know if it's a decline or whatever because they're clones and it doesn't really work that way, but their transformation from clone troopers to stormtroopers.
That was kind of explored in the old Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2. Yeah.
And it was a really engaging campaign.
Super engaged. That's exactly the word that I would use.
Because that's like the one thing that they haven't explored yet.
I'd love that because there's a lot of space inside, what we've seen. It's the other side is literally the dark side. We don't know how that works in the back.
For the dark side, for the Empire.
And while I'm thinking about it, I do think that it's funny that in the last episode, Bill Burr, who they say is a sharpshooter for the Imperial, he's an Imperial sharpshooter, and he was the best shot in the Imperial Army or whatever, and Mando goes, that's not saying much.
Well, yeah.
And then he turns his back and he goes, hey, I wasn't a stormtrooper, asswipe. Thought that was kind of fun.
That was good. Well, that was another thing that my good buddy John, in front of the pod, discussed, was that some of the cameos are a little too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like, it was just Bill Burr playing Bill Burr in space.
It wasn't quite Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones, but...
Oh, God, that was horrible.
But it
was just sitting there like...
Well, I didn't know that the big red thing was Clancy Brown.
Oh, I knew that immediately. I was like, that sounds like his voice.
I was like, there's something... I know him somehow, but I don't...
And the girl was Natalie Tena.
Yeah.
Also of Game of Thrones.
Also of Game of Thrones. I can never remember his name, but the fat guy with the hair is Roger Moore or something like that. Roy Moore.
Not Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
R.I.P. Roger Moore. 007. One of my favorite 007s.
Really?
Yeah.
We're not going there tonight, but I'll keep that in that in my back pocket for later.
The guy, he was in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And Sons of Anarchy. I cannot think of his name.
Mandalorian cast.
Mando Calrissian.
Mark Boone Jr.
That is not Roger Moore.
It's certainly not. Amy Sedaris was a nice one.
That was such a fun surprise.
Yeah.
Because of all the people that could have made cameos, Amy Sedaris was not one I ever expected.
I like that a lot. But I think that I've been stewing on this point, trying to connect some dots in my own head while we were talking about this. But I think the reason that I'm so okay with... And I think that by saying that, I'm almost admitting that, like, The Mandalorian isn't somehow living up to whatever expectation that we had for it collectively.
I had no preconceived notions.
Neither did I. So
I was just like, we're getting a Star Wars TV show, a live action Star Wars TV show. I mean, I love the show still.
Yeah, no, I'm very dedicated every Friday night.
I hope that it does build up to something.
Sure. There's only like one or two episodes left this season.
Season finale is directed by my boy Taika Waititi.
Oh, I love it. So it's gonna be a good one.
It is.
It's gonna be a real good. It's gonna be wise. It's gonna be a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the reason that I think that's step one. Step two is that I watched, and I was a fervent fan of a little ditty from out of Australia called Farscape, which kind of operated in the same way, where the first 2 or 3 episodes were very dedicated to the larger story. And then everything between that point and the season finale of each season, 3 seasons I think, maybe 5 seasons, 3 or 5, it's an odd number, was basically just a serial. It was, where are we going this week? And it worked out just fine for them.
Yeah.
It was a Jem Henson production. I really do recommend seeking it out.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, right. And I just get the same kind of vibe from it, because where Farscape had a very loudmouth, very bravado, kind of weird machismo kind of male frontman.
Right.
The Mandalorian has obviously strong silent type, but I see a lot of similarities in there, where it's basically just an excuse for the CGI team or the FX team to flex now and again with decent storytelling in between the spaces. And you know what, man, that's really all I need. I'm burned out, so I'm cool with whatever they want to give me.
I mean, the character of Mandalorian, I cannot get enough of. I mean, so like that last episode, the prison break thing.
Yeah.
Like the entire time before there was, like, spoiler for people that haven't watched it, fast forward a few minutes. Before there, like, I knew there was going to be a double cross at some point.
Oh, well, yeah.
But well before that, I was like, just put these people in their place already. And once he finally started to do that, I was like, this is what I've wanted all along.
I wish that it would have happened earlier, though.
Yeah.
But I do like that, like, a couple, like, so whenever he takes out the robots initially and everybody's like, oh shit, it didn't really occur to me to, like, connect the dots to be like, maybe we fucked up, and what I did what they wanted us to do, which was think like, oh, now they have a reverence for him. But I didn't turn it on the flip side and was like, oh, they realize they have to fight him at some point.
Right.
But
For me, it was when Clancy Brown wanted to try to take his helmet off. I wanted him to kill Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, we're not going to try to mess with it.
You need to take out Mr. Krabs right now.
Yeah. The one thing that was going on with that I was really curious about was the message from Apollo Creed that the droid character was trying to...
Yeah, that was Richard Ayoade.
Is that the droid? I know Carl Weathers is Apollo Creed. So.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I wonder where this is going, because it seemed like it was a recent message from since their last meeting.
Yeah.
With that said, I would definitely want to see more of Apollo Creed's character and Gina Carano's character.
Yeah, I think well, that's the thing. Okay, so I think
because, like, in the lead up, they were like, oh, it's like these are all going to be like the stars of the show.
Yeah.
And Gina Carano's in one episode so far.
Well, all right. So here's the thing. I think people aren't respecting the process of storytelling.
Yeah.
If you see this as a movie, he's picking up allies and enemies along the way, and then I think the last 2 episodes are going to be big. There's going to be it's going to be almost entirely callbacks.
Because I don't view Carl Weathers as a bad guy. I think it's kind of like he is the Lando to Mando's Han Solo.
Well, yeah, no, I think
it's like they're friendly, but they will turn against each other if they need to.
I think that's kind of one of the things about, like, the mercenary character is that, like, they're your friend, they're your enemy. As long as they're in your pocket, you're good. You know, and I don't know. It's tough to hate a character who does things exclusively for money. And that's why I think the Mandalorian is so endearing as a character, because, like, he's stepped outside the realms of his normal itinerary,
right?
Or what his normal demands are. He's no longer doing something for money, and he's kind of actively fighting against a world that he would normally have embraced. Which is, like, kind of interesting because, you know, he said in the first couple episodes that everybody has one of those trackers. But all he knows is that seedy underbelly of civic life.
Right.
And he just basically has to outrun these trackers the whole time. correctly, cynically, understanding that the people that he used to trust, he can no longer. But he has to maintain a level of, I'll trust you as long as I feel like I can. Which I can certainly appreciate. I don't really know exactly where I was going, but I think there's just something kind of poetic, kind of romantic about him not having anywhere safe to run to, only small pockets of time. He has small windows of rest, of respite between, where he knows he definitely can't go, and he has, if I go to the space station, I know that I've got a couple days at the absolute most before they catch on.
Right. I think that was something that rubbed me wrong about the last episode, was that he didn't administer to Baby Yoda as closely as he was in the earlier episodes. It was just kind of like, oh, we're just going to keep you locked up and you'll be fine. Like, that was kind of against his character, because, like, he would not let him out of his sight before unless he was... Unless he knew he was being watched out for. Especially if he knows he has potential enemies on that ship.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say, another thing I definitely want to see more of are the other Mandalorians.
Dude, the jetpack guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That whole sequence when they all come out.
Fucking warmonger.
Oh, man. But, like, so I did watch the two, like, CGI animated series. Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
And the Mandalorians actually play, like, a huge part in those. Just because everyone who's in power tries to eliminate them because they're too good at what they do.
Yeah.
And what they do is kill everybody.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, in this show, it's like, for all we know, there's just a handful of them left.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, now I want to see them get their retribution.
That would be perfect, yeah.
We haven't even met Giancarlo Esposito's character yet.
We haven't, no. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're kind of building up like he's going to be a big bad in season 2. Whenever that may
And I hope
out.
there is a season 2.
They're already filming it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Good.
They started filming it well before this one even premiered.
Yeah. And I think that we haven't really yet talked about, and we only have a handful of minutes left, but we haven't yet talked about how goddamn good Pedro Pascal is.
Oh, he's incredible in everything that he does.
Without a face to show emotion.
That is the hardest type of acting.
Unbelievable job.
Because he's doing... It's like... So if you're just voice acting, you can rely on the animation or whatever to help show emotion or what your character's thinking or any of that.
Yeah.
But when your face is just a stoic mask, and you're actually doing the acting, and all you have is your voice, and like a tilt of the head or your other mannerisms to rely on, you're doing so much there.
I really think that it goes unnoticed because of how good of it's like any positional player in any sport where, like, especially like boring jobs like defense, like if you're doing your job right, you are completely invisible. And I think that great acting, when you transform so completely into a character like that, to the point where you truly believe that you're watching a Mandalorian,
right?
Like, you kind of have to disassociate from that opinion for a quick second to realize how, like, what do we know about them?
Yeah.
We know very little. We know scant information about the Mandalorian.
We've only met, like, one true one.
And yet we completely are caught. Like, we're bought in.
Yeah.
Head to toe, we are in on this being a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Without any facial features.
And, like, the other thing is, like, one of the most devastating things you can do to an actor is take away their eyes. Because they're truly the windows to the soul.
True, yeah.
But if you pay attention to the show, all the other characters, all the other, like, humanoid characters, you can read them like a book.
Yeah.
Because you can see everything that's going on.
Yeah.
and you know that the Mandalorian is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, like you're trying to see through the helmet to see like what would be going on there, because there's moments where like just from that face mask, and I don't know if it's good. I don't even know if it's good just design of the helmet or whatever, but it is kind of expressive. But you can always tell fear, anxiety. You can see when he's thinking. You can see so much just from that mask, just from his body movements.
And I think you can derive that whoever is under there can, how do I want to say this? I want to, like, they can handle themselves, but it's so much more than that. Like, they are gonna be able to fight pretty much anybody because all they have is a slim T of visibility.
Yeah.
And like even the original trilogy, Boba Fett, like he was one of those feared people.
Yeah.
Not that he even really does anything.
Yeah, he's kind of a bitch in the movies, but his legacy precedes him.
Right. And it's just like that he has that reputation and he can only see like a slim T.
Yeah.
But you put like all these other dangerous figures around him and they dare not mess with him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even
I mean
Darth Vader is like I'm not gonna tango with you because I know it's not a guaranteed victory for me.
Yeah, genuinely. I think that we get so like tunnel visioned on what we're watching that we don't kind of realize the breadth of what's actually transpiring in front of us. And that there's like, it's more of like when you're watching it, I think people see things in a vortex where it just closes in on the screen. When it's really more of like a bloom kind of thing. It's like, this is happening, but what are the implications?
Right.
What are the implications beyond this show? So if he's doing this now, that means that this typical action is canon. Which means that other people are also doing this thing, which really broadens up the universe. And I to bring it a little bit back to Game of Thrones, but not so much because, like I said, we're closing in on.
I think it's just that's the natural connection because that's the only other show, the only other TV show kind of that type.
Yeah, but it's I want the other. It's 4 different series coming out that explore different angles of what happened before this series.
For
For Game of Thrones.
1 is confirmed. And it's gonna be about like the rise of the Targaryen dynasty. That's the only one that's been greenlit.
Okay.
They had filmed another pilot, but that got shut down.
Okay. That's all right.
So I think it's just kind of like after the response to season 8, they're like, all right, maybe we're gonna dial it back. Kind of like after Solo.
Yeah.
Disney was like, all right, we're not gonna crank out 1 a year like we thought we were.
Yeah.
Because people just get exhausted of it.
Yeah. But I thought Solo was fun.
The more I watch it, the more I love it.
I thought Solo was fun.
It is a delightful movie, and it feels like Star Wars.
Yeah. And that's the thing with when you get into things like Star Wars where
there's a feeling to it.
There's a feeling to it, yeah. And this really feels like... I think that's what people don't really like about the new trilogy. I don't know how much it feels like Star Wars.
I've thought about that a lot, and I think an issue, like a big part of it is, like Force Awakens retraced all the steps of A New Hope.
Yeah.
But the fact that they created like new locations that were identical to the old ones, it's like you could have just used the old ones.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need to create something new when you didn't need to. It feels like it's not in the same universe at times. I thought Last Jedi was kind of a course correction that brought it back into it a little bit more.
I liked Last Jedi, but I really thought they could do more. I thought they could do more. I was okay with most of what was happening, but I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Which one?
It's probably the no dinner and two Crown Royals, but I can't think of Johnny Boyega's name.
Finn?
FN 218 or whatever his name was.
You can think of his serial number.
Yeah, but I can't
think of his
traitor. Name. Yeah, I don't know. But Finn going on like that weird JRPG side quest for 2 hours. The horses. What is happening there?
I didn't mind that because I was like, oh, I get to see like more of this universe.
That's fine with the casino and everything. That's fine, but it's like that's the second disc of Final Fantasy VII. Sis, we've been there.
I haven't. I've never played it.
Oh, why am I friends with you?
I've never played a Final Fantasy game.
Oh my god! But it just felt like, all right. Well, these two people are doing something important. This kid's what are you doing exactly? You're hanging out in a casino.
I love The Last Jedi. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to begrudge you that, as much as your friends want us to.
But, like, kind of going back to what I was saying, was, like, you don't have to abandon the familiar completely.
Yeah.
So this new one, we know...
There's a lot of callback.
Yeah, with just
from the OT.
Just the wreckage of the second Death Star. It's like... Okay, like we can work with this. It explains that it's like in the same universe, which they haven't done well enough yet. Because it's like nothing has changed in the 30 years.
Yeah,
like the First Order is like, oh, it's still the Empire, but they were defeated, but have somehow gained control of everything again.
Yeah. So what I
feel like that was a story that should have been explored.
Yeah, they could have definitely done a little bit better to. Kind of like what the First Order is kind of like the alt-right to the Empire's GOP, and they definitely could have explained that a little bit better. I did like how the moon base or Star Killer base or whatever the fuck it was called is really just an exaggerated Death Star.
Yeah,
operational. We see it work.
It's like, oh, we can destroy multiple planets.
Yeah.
Which can't be good for the galaxy at large.
Yeah.
What with gravity and everything?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of...
I feel like things get thrown off.
Yeah, but then I get to use my favorite... My favorite, explanation for all this is that... It's a science fiction movie.
It's a fantasy movie.
It's a movie, so... Darling, it's a movie, so...
But, so...
Go back to the basement.
But, so the First Order, it's just, the new Empire. It's like, all right, they're back and they've got control of everything. What happened to, the new Republic that was formed at the end of Return of the Jedi?
That's a fair point.
And how is... Because there's, 5 planets called the New Republic in The Force Awakens. But that's somehow separate from the Resistance?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And I think that it's unwise of them. Well, all right, so here's the thing. I think I'm, solving my own points in my head as I'm talking. What I was going to start saying is it's unwise of Rian Johnson and co. to start telling a story to quite possibly... It's in flux, but I'll go on to say that the second nerdiest fan base in all of cinema history, just shy behind Star Trek. And I only say that because Star Wars is it's pretty in your face. There's not a lot left of the imagination, whereas Star Trek is really about the adventure. And it's like, maybe they'll fight. Maybe nothing will happen. I don't know. But Star Wars is there will always be something exciting.
Yeah, because it's always going to be about good versus evil.
Yeah, it's just very black and white.
There's always going to be a conflict. There's always going to be a war.
It's always red and blue.
Right.
So I'll say that's why they're the second nerdiest, because they don't quite have the attention span of Star Trek fans. And if you're upset that you didn't win that race, you need to reevaluate where you are in life. But it was unwise of them to just go ahead and just introduce new shit without backing it up.
So you're putting it's more on J.J. Abrams than anything.
Yeah, it's more on them. But at the same time, let's not forget that Star Wars is primarily a young adult.
It's for the kids.
Children's movie.
It's for the kids.
FTK. Ferda.
Ferda.
It's for the kids.
For the kids.
It's not for you.
No.
The 38-year-old who lives in the attic. You can watch it.
Because
you can be involved. But remember, it's not for you.
Most Star Wars fans, the ones that they love the most are the ones that they saw when they were kids.
Yeah. That's exactly when you're supposed to watch it.
That's why we have such nostalgia for the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I was 9 when episode 1 came out. No, I wasn't. I was 7.
You were younger
I was 7.
I was young enough to fall asleep in the theater.
You were 6.
I was. It was the last day of kindergarten. It was like the half day, and my parents took us to see it. And I was just a weary little child and fell asleep near the end.
Yeah.
I think I saw...
Did you see it at the showcase?
Cinemas West?
Yeah.
You know it, baby.
Fuck yeah, you did.
I saw all 3 prequel movies there.
Really? I saw episode 2 and 3 at Distinta in Bridgeville.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
You know what? I like Distinta.
They have a rat problem.
They do.
Or they did as of like a year ago.
Well, you mean that's Phoenix Cinema?
Phoenix Big Sun.
What the fuck?
Or Phoenix Big Cinema.
Is it a casino?
I have no idea. I don't even think they know what they are anymore. I will say, like, the lobby area feels more like a movie theater than Cinemark.
Cinemark's weird, yeah, for sure.
But what was I going to say? It was still about Star Wars. Sturvers. I was very excited for Rise of Skywalker, and I still am. But now I have some concern as of around 8:15 this morning when I saw that Chris Terrio is the screenwriter for it.
The Riot.
Chris Terrio, his last 2 writing credits. What do you think they are, Kevin?
I bet it's an X-Men movie.
I'll do you one better. Justice League.
Oh no.
And Batman v Superman.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So now it's like, sweet Jesus. What is going to...
I thought it was going to be like D.B. Weiss and whatever the fuck
So
Facebook
now it's going to be
names.
like Chewbacca fighting Poe Dameron. He's going to be about to kill him. They realize their moms have the same name. So
and he's going to have his throat on his... Chewbacca's going to have his thing, and he's going to be like, tell Martha. And he's going to go...
It's gonna be Oscar Isaac going, and Chewie's like, no. If they just had an entire movie, if the entire last installment of the saga was in the Wookiee language,
I would see it probably more times than I saw La La Land.
Subtitles, so it was technically a 4-language film. Qualifies for a 4-language Oscar.
Oh boy. On that note,
we never got to my note, but it was about a completely separate series, so I don't feel too bad.
Yeah, we'll get to it next. We'll get to it next week. All right, fam. You know what? That was a cohesive conversation.
Yeah.
We're learning. I think this was a good episode.
I think it was.
This was a good episode. For once, I can say that I actually had fun. Did you have fun?
I did.
Good, Doug. Happy for you.
You know I love Star Wars.
Yeah, no, this was...
The fact that I was able to name all 4 Jedi Masters that tried to arrest Palpatine.
Yeah, normally...
Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah, normally that would be a big turnoff, but I am diamond hard, so... Can't wait to turn off this microphone.
We didn't even talk about Yaddle.
Don't. Please, I can only get so erect.
Baby Yaddle do.
Well, I'm happy that you had fun. I had fun. And for we have fun, I've been Kevin. Papa Sauce, you know me, you'll love me.
Yeah.
Most of the
I go
time.
back and forth with my tongue. What? I'm always Doug.
You sure are, and that's what we
I'm
love about you.
Drumstick.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. And thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, please. Tell your friends. We're trying to start a conglomerate here. What the fuck? Also, invite us to your GD parties. Holiday parties is coming up. We know you're having them. We see you on the gram.
We see you. Grammy.
Yeah, gram. All right, babies.
But hey, that's just a theory. A podcast theory.
All right, babies. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Get out of here.